Hello and welcome, my Cancer friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today and watching this video. This is going to be my group monthly forecast for my Cancer friends. Today we're going to explore what you can expect from the month of January, those obstacles that you're going to face, but more importantly, the tools to overcome them, and some blessings that you can embrace throughout the month. The decks I'm using for this reading, I'm going to be using the Crystal Visions Tarot and then the Dragon Oracle. Like always, there are links below to both these fantastic decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. Alright, my Cancer friends, let's see what the cards have to say. What can my Cancer friends embrace and expect for the month of January? Oh, he's beautiful. The Golden Orange Dragon. Expand your light for ascension. That connection in is going to be fantastic. Connecting into your higher vibrational beings, connecting into your higher self. January is really going to offer you a time where you're going to be able to work on and strengthen that connecting ability, that connection space. All right. What card represents January for my Cancer friends? I knew there was more jumpers. There. For those who aren't tarot readers, you get a feeling with your cards when you're shuffling if you've had all the cards that they really want to throw out at you. All right, the first card that's going to represent January, the King of Pentacles. That's that grounding energy. The King is the fully developed personality of the suit. The Pentacle is all about that growth and abundance, that grounding, stable energy. He has the fully developed personality of his suit, so he has the most strength. And you're really going to need that grounding and really strong support when we're looking at those ascension pieces, when we're looking at connecting in with our higher self, really working on some of these spiritual aspects. And the Eight of Pentacles. This is the hard work we're going to do when it comes to really connecting in. The Eights are all about movement and manifestation. Pentacles, again, that connection to earth and growth. That growth piece is really where we're connecting in on this card. We're looking at that hard work because it is going to be work. This is a skill the dragon is talking about. We really need to be working on those skills and abilities to connect in. We have those abilities. We have to strengthen them. We have forgotten how to do it, and really strengthening and solidifying those connections will help, because not only will it give you direction and insight for January, it's going to help through 2020 and the decade. The Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups always talks about missing the bigger picture, focusing in on those 3 cups that you have created, which are fantastic. There's nothing wrong with those cups, but missing the bigger picture. It really talks about focusing in on that universal message and embracing and grasping and grabbing hold of that Holy Grail so you can make some amazing changes and shifts, learning and relearning skills that are going to help you now and in the future. A fantastic card, the Sun. January really is going to bring you a lot of abundance and a lot of transformation. That Sun card really warms up and really gives that loving, nurturing energy, that universal, unconditional energy to the whole month. Well, really, all I can say is, wow, my Cancer friends, this is fantastic. To pull the Sun card with all these supporting cards, especially with this Golden Orange Dragon, you're really looking at some amazing energies for January. Let's get into the month a little bit more. What can my Cancer friends expect for the beginning of January? The Ace of Swords. This really talks about those skill building pieces, those tools and abilities to connect in. January is that connection month for you, my Cancer friends. The beginning of January offers you that ability to connect in and find out about those tools that you're going to need. And some of them are very much written down, and it's a research kind of gaining that information about connecting in, about reaching up into these higher vibrational beings. Some of it you will get as what's called a download. It's going to come from your guides, your guardian, the angels, the dragons. It's going to be pieces of information, almost like push the information through your crown chakra. I won't lie, you may have a headache at the beginning of January because a lot of times, especially with major life-shifting downloads, it can cause headaches. However, this knowledge is going to be the key aspect at the beginning of January. Let's go into the middle of January. What can my Cancer friends expect from the middle of January? The Nine of Swords. Swords are about truth and knowledge. This Nine of Swords talks about all these past experiences, because nines are all about all that we've achieved and all that we've lived through. Those swords, those are past experiences. And these aren't just any experiences. The swords that are connected into the Nine of Swords are those ones that hit home. Those events and situations that have happened in the past that really we can't release. When events and situations happen and they have that high vibrational energy and they're happy and you really enjoyed them, our souls embrace that information and feeling and uses it to the better, for a greater good. However, these situations and events have lower vibration. They are connected to those lower vibrational feelings. We can't do anything with it. We feel kind of gooky because it builds up on us. And it's going to be that buildup that we're going to become very aware of. We're not going to deal with those situations right now. It's going to be that awareness and identification of that kind of gookiness. Now, we have the sun that really radiates over these cards. That's why I know we're not going to deal with this. Identifying and starting to clear it out. You may not have the source, like clear out the source of the problem. However, what you can do is clear out that buildup of negative energy and lower vibrational energy that you're holding within yourself so that you start to feel better. You have a better ability to connect in and ground yourself. Let's look at the end of January. What does the end of January bring my Cancer friends? The Nine of Wands. Again, like I just said, nines are all about all that we've lived through, all those pieces that have brought us to this point. Wands are about that inner fire and inner courage. This process is really going to solidify and bring you that stronger foundation to take on that next challenge. You're really going to feel like you're supported and that you have that ability to overcome anything that the future holds for you. All right, now we do have double nines. In angel messages, when we're looking at that multiple nine, we're looking at a time for you to work on your life's purpose, that soul's deeper purpose. Let's move on to the challenges. What challenges will my Cancer friends face in January? The Knight of Wands. Knights are that no fear energy, all about passion, fire, and determination. That gotta go, and we gotta go big, and we gotta go, or you gotta go home energy. That wand, passion, and fire. Then the Three of Wands. Threes are about expression and growth. The Three of Wands is an action card. It wants you to go forward down that journey, that little path that has been created. in January, we always like to set goals, expectation, ideas. Your Knight and the Three of Wands are going to want to go do that for you. They're going to get going and say, hey, we've got stuff to do. Let's go do them. We don't need to spend time in grounding ourselves and making connections into higher selves. We need to get going. And it's going to kind of have that energy of anticipation and excitement and almost like a vibration where we really want to go and do something rather than sit and really reflect on where we're at, grounding ourselves and working on some of these connections. The Golden Dragon can really help us in making those connections. However, we have to gain the skills and tools to be able to do it on our own, which means some sitting and quiet time, not so much that action time. Let's look at the challenges at the beginning of the month. What challenges can my Cancer friends expect at the beginning of January? The first card, and this is a deck specific card, the Unknown card. Now, depending on how much we're able to understand and retain this information will depend on how much more of a challenge we're going to have. Because that unknown, there are unknown things in play for my Cancer friends, and it's really going to depend on where we're at, will depend on how much more of a challenge we're going to be faced. Plus, that uncertainty and unknown is going to be a challenge in itself, because there's a lot of stuff we don't know and we have forgotten. And when we really start to kind of embrace that almost anxious energy, it really will become a bit of a stumbling block. With her, the Ace of Wands. Again, another ace. This one is about passion. It goes back to that action, passion orientated energy. Along with the information on working with those higher vibrational beings in that connection, we're going to get more ideas on how to be creative and really stimulate and express our passions and focus in on what we really should be focusing in on here. What I would suggest at the beginning of the month, write down some of these fantastic ideas. You don't want to lose them. Write them down so you can address them at a different date after we've done this work. After you have that stability, you'll be able to really grab hold of that match and strike it so that you can get that passion flowing. Let's look at the middle of the month. What obstacles will my Cancer friends face in the middle of January? The Queen of Cups. Queens are that feminine, nurturing energy, the cup about intuition and emotion. We're really going to feel a little bit of a jarring sensation as we're starting to try and connect in and work on some of these ideas and skills and connect in with the Golden Dragon so that we're working with our intuition. Similar to that, when we started to walk, we were really wobbly and things were kind of really unstable. We're going to feel that there. On top of which, we're going to have some of those past lower vibrational energies come in, and we're really going to feel very woozy and wobbly. That connection into the King of Pentacles is going to be really paramount in the middle of the month, so we can stop that wobbly kind of unstableness. Let's go on to the end of the month. What challenges will my Cancer friends face in the end of January? The Tower. The Tower is the 16th card in the Major Arcana, and it talks about major life shifts. Now, depending on how much work we've done in the beginning and middle and how stable we'll feel will depend on really how hard that lightning strikes and how much damage the Tower will do. When I say damage, this is an emotional or spiritual shift. Now, we also have the Sun, which also lessens the ability of that lightning strike. So when we start to really work in and connect in with that golden dragon, and we start to shift and really strengthen and solidify these relationships and our understanding of what the universe wants of us, we really do lessen the pain and discomfort that the tower can offer us. All right, let's go on to some blessings. What blessing can my Cancer friends embrace at the beginning of January? All right. The orange dragon brings soul, families, and communities together. That's going to be very important. That community and family support goes back into that connection piece and that connecting to those higher vibrational beings, your astral family, the connections that we have with our guides, our guardians, that very important support that we are able to gain from all those higher vibrational beings and supports, and even our passed on loved ones. That is all really what this knowledge is going to be, and the gold or the orange dragon is really going to help you with that. Really connect in. Okay, let's look at the middle of the month. What blessing can my Cancer friends embrace in the middle of January? The earth dragon. He's beautiful. Clear your path and land around you. That connection into the King of Pentacles is going to be there. It talks about that importance of grounding and strengthening your connection in with the ground. We're talking a lot about that celestial and spiritual development. That groundedness is going to be essential. Feeling that you are stable on your own 2 feet and with that connection to Gaia is going to be key. Even in the beginning of the month, we may not feel it as much because we have that download coming in and we're really going to be gaining those skills and tools, and we're just going to be poking at it a little bit. In the middle, we have that ability to really connect in, and it's that connection and working on those skills and abilities where we're going to find that the earth dragon is going to be essential to keep us really feeling like we are stable and that we're not getting too dizzy and kind of almost, some people get nauseous when they do too much astral work or spiritual development. All right, let's go to the end of the month. What blessings can my Cancer friends embrace for the end of January? The air and fire dragon, expand your creative energies. It really connects in with those wands, expanding your abilities. Anytime you have a dragon with something of fire or fire of something, when that fire is in there, you're looking at the ability to really clear out those low-lying, low vibrational energies and build up. And like I said, in the middle of the month, we're going to have that ability to clear things out, and the air fire dragon is going to blast through it for you. Air connected in with that knowledge piece will help really replace it with something that is more positive and for your greater good. Now I should explain, there's a lot of things that we're still learning about dragons. We used to work with them a lot historically. And when I say historically, I mean what they say, quote unquote, the Dark Ages. The Atlantean times, they worked so closely with the dragons. We're just connecting back into them. So there's a lot we're learning. They are back and they are amazing. The dragons, these are kind of species, not just one of. There is more than one orange dragon. It's like saying there's just one person from Canada or one person from British Columbia. This is a group of dragons. They are not animals. People have them on their totems or animal totems and call them their spirit animal. They're not an animal. They're in an animal shape. They are high vibrational beings and they are exceptional. So if you do have one on your totem, if you can remove it from the totem and put it separate, embracing that dragon energy and the healing and the stability that the dragons can provide for us is amazing. You don't have an angel or an archangel on your totem because they're not an animal. Well, either are the dragons. The dragons are in what we class an animal shape or a beast shape, but they're not. They're much more than that. Also, people say that they're spirit animal. No, they're connected in, just like your guide. Your dragon, we all have one. A dragon chose us at birth. We did not choose them. The dragons are very clear on that, and they work with us. It's similar to saying that your spirit guide, well, your spirit dragon is still there. It's not an animal. It's not going to be something you can connect on that animal spirit. It's more on that high vibrational spirit. So you can call on an earth dragon. Well, your partner can call in an earth dragon, or your family member or a friend or the guy down the street, the pizza delivery guy. There's enough of them to come in. We have to ask them. They're high vibrational beings. I'm really thinking I need to do some videos or a video series on these high vibrational beings and kind of get into them and really give a bit more education on them, because they're so important. In the next 10 years, we're really going to see these high vibrational beings become a part of our everyday and really impact in a positive way our outcomes and our day and our lives. All right, let's take a look at some supports. What guidance and support can we offer my Cancer friends for January to embrace the energies and overcome the obstacles presented in January? The first card, the 13th card in the Major Arcana, Death. Now, this isn't a bad thing. Everybody always gets really anxious about death in the tower. This really embraces some of what the fire and air dragon will bring you, or the air fire dragon. Clearing out that crap that isn't working. Releasing some of that built up goo and handing it straight to death. Like you're a kid when you spit out the candy and ask your parent to hold it. Similar idea. Handing that goop to death and saying, there you go, enjoy. Really working with death to clear out some of that lower vibrational residue that we have, so that we're able to bring in this loving universal energy that will help with our transition and our transformation. The Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is one of a couple family cards, and it talks about that importance of family and guidance and support. Part of it is your supportive, loving family and friends, those positive relationships here on the physical plane. Another part of it speaks about that astral family, your spiritual family on higher vibrational planes. It's all a part of your team and your family that you work with. Can also connect into your guides, your guardian, these high vibrational beings. If you're connected into your dragon that you work with, your spirit dragon, if you will, you're going to be having them as part of it. I know mine is. I love him and he's always around me. And then the Empress. The third card in the Major Arcana, and it talks about that growth, abundance, and fertility. We've touched on some of the creativity and that next step aspect. This highlights what is to come, that growth, because when we plant seeds, we're looking at some time before we have the flowers blossom and the plants grow. Also, talks about the root system that we're creating here and establishing for ourselves. Those skills and abilities to connect in and strengthening our relationship with those higher vibrational beings and our guides and guardians. Not to say there aren't high vibrational beings, but I usually separate them because they do have a different role. she really embraces all that we are working on and all that growth that we can really embrace in January. And finally, the Magician. The first card in the Major Arcana, and I'm not sure if you guys started to see this, we had Minor Arcanas, barring the Sun, and we've started to hit a bit of a swing into some of the Major Arcanas, major life issues. And those major life issues and shifts is what we're looking at. The Magician talks about using your skills and abilities, those magical parts of ourselves, connecting them in with the everyday, and really making magic happen. Most importantly, usually, and he's got it only on his belt in this card, he's got the infinity symbol, usually it's above his head. He's known as the lightning rod. He pulls down that universal energy and directs it where it's needed. And that's literally what you're going to feel like in the end of January when you start to really strengthen these connections into the higher sources, into the higher vibrational beings. All right, my Cancer friends, let's end off on a blessing. What blessing can my Cancer friends embrace for January? I don't know if you guys caught that on camera. It flipped upside down. It's a beautiful card. The Green Gold Dragon from Sirius brings universal knowledge to your spiritual pathway. That connection in is going to clear things out for you. The Green Gold Dragon, and you have a lot of orange and gold, and that's really connected into our solar plexus. The orange is really connected into Archangel Metatron. And yes, the angels and dragons and unicorns work as a team. They're not conflictuary. They're not fighting each other. I digress. The Green Gold Dragon will really help clear out some of that uncertainty that we have. He's a fantastic dragon to help guide you and help you get to where you need to go. Literally clears that path, helps break down those barriers so that you are able to not only see your path, but understand how you're going to get there. I encourage people to call on them and really embrace these energies and healing and clearing out. That's a big thing dragons can do. They can clear things out like nobody's business, so that you are able to make some amazing evolutionary transformations in January. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you were able to gain some insight and direction into what January is going to hold. And these are energies that we can embrace. Again, we have free will. We have the ability not to do this. Bearing in mind, we did have the Tower come in. Even with the Sun pulled, the Tower can still cause some discomfort to us, especially near the end of the month, especially if we haven't done any work. However, these energies are there for you to embrace. You can connect into them and you can start getting some direction into what January would really support you in doing. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. If you've seen any of my past videos, you know I'm not just a tarot reader. I've been really bringing in a lot more healing and different higher vibrational beings into my readings and into the healings that we're now providing. And as you can tell, I'm still adding more into my channel. So really, you never know where I'm going to go next, because I am being directed by my guides and guardians and the archangels. So just the best way to stay connected is through subscribing to the channel and hitting the little red bell so you are connected in and you're not going to miss any of the guidance and healing that I'm going to have on my channel. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page with many tiers and lots of perks. In some of the tiers, the perks are private readings with myself. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out. Until tomorrow, my Cancer friends.